If you're a project manager or an IT professional, then you know how challenging it can be to visualize the different connections between projects and tasks. In some project management software, visualizing dependencies can be difficult or even impossible. But with Lucid, you can easily map out these dependencies, making it quick to identify bottlenecks, project delays, and potential risks. In this video, we're going to learn how to set up dependency mapping in Lucid. We're also going to learn how to create and visualize dependencies, and then how to leverage Lucid's unique visualization tools to showcase those dependencies. Let's get started. To set up dependency mapping in Lucid, you'll need to check two things. First, that you have the proper account type. So you'll need to have either an enterprise account or a FedRAMP account with Lucid. The second thing is that you'll need to have a compatible project management software that integrates with Lucid. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on two of the most common ones, which would be Jira and Azure DevOps. So to get started, we're going to navigate down here to More Tools, and we're going to check under this integration section. Let's get started by integrating with Jira first. So we're going to click on the Jira button, and we'll see this page letting us know what's going to be happening and what's part of this integration. When we're ready, we'll click Login to Jira Cloud. At this point, Lucid will request to access your Atlassian account and give you an overview of what's going to happen, and then you'll click Accept. Now, at this point, the integration's all successfully connected, and we should begin to see Jira projects, issues, stories, epics, all of those different things populate into here. We can even search for issues by doing a JQL query and toggling this on. But in this instance, we're just going to import a few issues here and click the Import Issues button. Now at this point, all of our issues will be brought into Lucid as Lucid cards. And Lucid cards make it easy for us to visualize the projects, the tasks, the issues, stories, whatever they might be, in relationship to one another. The cool thing about them too is they bidirectionally sync with our program. So whether we're using Jira or Azure DevOps, any changes that we make here on Lucid in the canvas will also be reflected in Jira or Azure DevOps. So one of the things I wanted to point out here is if you look at several of these cards, you'll notice this button here that says 2 linked issues. That's an indicator for us that that particular issue, story, epic, whatever it might be, has a dependency. And if we click on it, we can actually visualize that dependency right here in Lucid, which is incredible. So we can see by moving this out, we have our API and integration development that's blocking and connected to this compliance and legal auditing. We've got SEO updates relating to this. So many amazing things seen in an instant. Now, that's what happens if our tasks or our epics, whatever they might be, our issues, are connected already. But what if we wanted to create one within Lucid? Well, we can do that too. By selecting one of these Lucid cards, going to this purple node icon and dragging it to another card, we then have the option to link the issue in Jira. Now, if it was already just a basic line here in Lucid, this is not showing any sort of dependency. It's just showing a connection. To make that basic line a dependency, we can do that too by selecting it and then clicking on this little button. This links issues in Jira and gives us that pop-up that we saw when we initially created the line. So whether you're creating a brand new link to an issue in Jira from one card to another in Lucid, or whether it was a basic line and you wanted to convert it into some sort of issue in Jira, you can do that. And so I'll just click blocks here. And now you'll see this little pinwheel. That means that that item is going to sync in Lucid and in Jira, connecting the two together. So if we were to open up this task now, we would see that that issue is now linked. So really incredible. A quick way to be able to visualize any dependencies between different things. And if you make a mistake or you decide that that's not going to be an issue anymore, you can actually select the line here in Lucid, click on it, and press the trash can, or you can press the delete key on your keyboard as well. Then a pop-up will say, hey, this is going to be deleting this, and you're going to be unlinking the issue. Are you okay with that? We're going to say yes. And then you'll see the pinwheel goes again. meaning that it's trying to bidirectionally sync between Lucid and Jira. And once it syncs, we'll be able to click on this, and now we can see that there is no more dependency here. So really incredible, powerful way. It's quick, it's game-changing, you're gonna love it. So now that we've been able to visualize dependencies in Jira, let's go ahead and take a look at what this might look like with Azure DevOps. So I'm gonna go ahead and select these Jira cards we imported, and I'm gonna press the delete key. Now, deleting them from Lucid is not going to delete them from Jira, so you don't need to worry about that. And the same thing goes for Azure DevOps. So let's now navigate to more tools, and we're going to look under our integrations panel again for Azure DevOps. Now, if you're going to be importing a lot of issues or for Azure DevOps work items, then I recommend grabbing this button and bringing it over into your primary toolbar so that you can access it more frequently without having to dive into more tools. Now, for the sake of time, I've already gone ahead and connected Azure DevOps with Lucid, but just know that the process is exactly like what you did with Jira. You'll need to navigate into more tools, search the marketplace, find it, follow the prompts, and then connect it. And once you've connected everything, whether it's Azure DevOps or Jira, if you click on the button, you'll have these three options. Now, automatically, when we first make that connection, you'll see this window, the import work items, where different work items will populate just like we saw with Jira, and we can go ahead and select them and bring them in. And everything works just like we saw with our Jira integration. But another feature that was in here that you might have seen that is part of Azure or Jira integrations is new work item. And that's where we can click on it and create a work item from within Lucid without having to open up Jira or Azure DevOps. So for instance, if I wanted to create a new task, for instance, let's say update security profile, and we wanted that to be under our API platform, down here, we'll create the task. We could fill out any of these other fields and then press create. And now you'll see that we have another work item here within Lucid that will bidirectionally sync with Azure DevOps, which makes it convenient for us to be able to visualize, create, do everything here in Lucid and have it sync back to our platform for anyone else that needs to view it there. Now, the other thing that we can do, just like we did with Jira, is if we click on the node, we can draw a dependency between different tasks, items, whatever they might be. And we could select that here, and you'll be able to visualize it just like you did with Jira. So now that you've learned how to visualize and create new dependencies within Lucid using our Azure DevOps or Jira integrations, I want to show you what's possible when you leverage that with our additional visualization tools within Lucid. So let's go over to this program board example. Now, as you can see here, we have a timeline with our different cards in here and arrows showing our dependencies between different items. The cool thing with this is technically and typically in a traditional view, if I were to open up Jira or if I were to open up Azure DevOps, you would not be able to see this level of detail. And now I can see how each of these different projects and tasks relate to one another. The other thing that's nice is in a timeline, I can actually organize how I want this set up. So I can create a custom row, which I did over here for our different teams. So I can now see the different projects and tasks that each team is working on, as well as setting up our different sprints across the top. I can also add this progress bar so that I can view where everyone's at and get a quick glance at how the work is progressing. Another thing I can do is I could bring these same cards, copy them, and bring them into a dynamic table. A dynamic table can help us view things based off of status as well as the different projects. And I can see then how these different projects and these different tasks relate to one another. If there's going to be blockers, I can identify those blockers really quickly. Now, one of the features that's really cool that we haven't discussed yet is if we were to go under here for Jira or Azure DevOps, we can click this Visualize Linked Issues button, and that will then show all of our linked issue types. Now, if you're like me, you might just want to see the blocked items. And so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on these other toggles just because I know that there's a lot of relationships between a lot of them, and I just want to focus in on the blocked items, and now all I'm going to see are these blocked items. which makes it so easy for me to identify where potential risks are, what issues need to be resolved, and whatever I need to do to keep the work moving forward. Another way to do this is I could click on the blocked section, and then you'll see this linked issues button pop up here. And by clicking there, I can then go back in and hide all links or show all links to be able to see all of those relationships again. Now that you know how to set up dependency mapping in Lucid, create and visualize dependencies in Lucid, and then leverage Lucid's unique visualization tools to showcase those dependencies, you're ready to transform the way that you work. And if you'd like to dive deeper into any of these topics, be sure to check out our other learning resources here.